Is it still worth moving to the UK in 2025? Coming from somebody who has spoken or talked about how you can move to the UK, the tips on migrating and helped so many families, I have spoken about the UK, how to move to the UK for over 5 years. I'm going to give you reasons why it is still worth it, and I'm going to give you reasons why you may want to reconsider moving to another country or even not even leaving your country at all. And before you come for my head, this is actually just my personal opinion. I'm not an immigration advisor, and do not replace it with a legal advice. In the past few years, the UK had so many pathways in which people could come in, which included one of the most famous, the care visa route, where carers came into the country with their family, and after which I think the UK became overwhelmed. They've decided to adjust so many parts or areas of immigration and migration, and it has been a very big topic. So the extent it has now become a topic of debate, like a topic for anybody that wants to get into seats, using immigration as a key to getting their votes, because they believe, because the UK is a very small island, they think the citizens do not want more people in their country. But I'm going to give you reasons why I think it is still worth moving to the UK before I give you the disadvantages and the things that I think you should consider before you actually make that decision. Number one is cultural diversity. Although the UK is a very small island, is an English island, and because when you come from your country, especially from the part of the world where I'm from, we speak English, it is easy for you to easily adapt to the culture of English speaking, unlike when you decide to move to countries like France, to Poland, or other countries that are not English speaking. It is easier for you to adapt here because you understand the language they speak. The culture, I would say, is not the same as back home, but there's a little bit of integration of things that you're able to relate to from watching movies or from what you've heard. And the UK also has its own rich history, rich culture that we cannot actually overemphasize. It's easy for you to say you can adapt here. Another thing you should also consider why you should move here is education. I know we usually say education is not free because the taxpayer pays for it or this and that, but that being said, education at the point of service is still free up until some certain age, and I'm sure the amount of money you're going to save from nursery to primary to university in some countries or in some cases is a lot, and the UK also has one of the, I'm sure has few of the top universities in the world. You have Oxford, you have so many universities that are good. Even if they are not the reigning universities, I'm sure education is also good. I'm sure there are some schools back in Nigeria that actually use the British curriculum. Tell you how commendable the education system of the English people is. There's one reason why you want to give your child good education. You want to give yourself good opportunity to further your education, to go to more schools, get more education, more training. I think the UK is actually for you. Another thing I want you to think about is job opportunity. I'm talking about job opportunity. I'm sure you say there are no jobs because there are so many people, but depending on the area or the sector in which you are, there are so many sectors like the IT, health. There are areas that it is easier to get jobs, to get into these areas in the UK than it is compared to other countries. Let's take Canada, for example. Trying to register or license yourself in Canada will take you years. Say if you're a nurse, you're trying to get registered in Canada, you have to do your NCLEX after you've done your WES, you've done your verification, and getting a job, getting PR. Although when you move to Canada, it is a good pathway because you're sure of where you're going to end. Unlike the UK, I'm telling you, it is still easier to integrate into the system here. Some people will even do the evaluation in Canada, and Canada will tell you your nursing evaluation or your nursing education is not equivalent to Canada standard. So you cannot even get into the system except you go and do this exam, or you go and do this training, or you go back and do this. It is easier when you come to the UK. Even the UK will take diploma nurses as a registered nurse. You see what I mean? Sometimes getting job here, I know it is saturated. It is still a bit easier compared to some other countries. Even Canada, getting a job in Canada, I'm not sure of other part of the world, but I'm saying compared to the countries that I've compared it with, it is still a bit easier. You may not get the job of your dream immediately. You may need to work your way up. You may need to prove yourself. You may need to have the country experience. But at the end of the day, depend on your job role, depend on what you've studied. It is still a bit easier for you to get a job or get job opportunity, have your own business and do things for yourself in the UK than it is in some other countries. Please do not come from my head yet. Wait to hear my other side. There's nothing that has an advantage that does not have a disadvantage. Another thing that I think is very good about the UK is travel accessibility. Whoa! If you want to go to other European countries, some places from the UK is just 3 hours. Some flights are as cheap as £30. Some flights are as cheap as £25. So it is very, very close to other countries like the European countries, I would say. And it is easy for you to just say, I'm on holiday. And another thing I want you to also think about is the fact that the UK gives loads of holidays, like the maternity leave, paternity leave, adoption leave, like your annual leave, the breaks. I know the money is not the best, but I've heard some countries, I don't want to be mentioning names now, that just gives 1 month, 4 weeks for annual leave. What will I do with that? Currently, I take 7 weeks annual leave, and it increases by how many years you've spent in the NHS or that you've worked in the NHS. I'm not talking about private or I don't know what they do there, but I'm talking about government work, NHS, maternity leave. Although some of it may be unpaid, you can get up to 1 year. I moved from Dubai and I didn't have that luxury. The only annual leave you get in Dubai is a month that even your boss can decide is not going to let you go. You see? So yes, there's that annual leave, holiday, paid holiday. It's good. It's good in the UK. Apart from history, culture, so many other things that we can talk about the UK. Now let's talk about the cons, like the things that may want to stop you from moving to the UK, that you may think, I don't want to come because of this. Number one is the way immigration is now being toughened up. Not just peculiar to the UK. So many countries are now tightening up their immigration. This is something I always say in the past. I'm like, look, if a country has opened its border or has given a chance for immigrants to move in. I remember days when I moved to the UK, where you get brought in, you get a job. It was not this hard. But these days, I've heard people who even pass their IELTS, pass their OET, this and that, but they did not get a job and they've not managed to move to the UK. It gets tougher. If there's an opportunity in a country that you think you're interested in, my dear, take the opportunity now. And I always say, let opportunity meet preparation. That means you're having your passport ready, you're researching about that country, you're getting your licensing, everything ready, so that when the opportunity comes, you can be the first few people who will take it before it closes down. I know April is coming. That's why I'm doing this video. April is coming. There are going to be loads of changes again to immigration and immigration rules, to salary and everything that has to do with the UK and other countries. But I'm saying now that before the changes happen, get yourself ready. You know, one thing that may want to discourage you from moving to the UK is cost of living. I know we always say it's harder back home. I know. Cost of living in the UK is not easy. There's inflation, it's extremely expensive. If you're not doing a well-paying job or you don't have your partner or somebody to support you, my dear, you're gonna struggle because your salary will be barely enough to pass by. Like your salary will be barely, forget all this, they're struggling in the real sense. And this is not to discourage you, it is just to prepare you so that you know that you're not coming to this country with debts, and believing that you're going to pay back, because I know the currency and the exchange rate is very good when you send the money back home. But if you're spending the money here, my dear, see, ordinary this hair, only this hair, it's even cheap. Because I made it, somebody who just did it for me. I'm not sure this hair is up to 20. £70 was what I paid yesterday for this hair. And I've done this as beautiful. I've made hair that are not as beautiful as this for £150. Okay? So let's say your salary is 1,500 and you're already making hair for £150 inside. Do you see what I mean? The cost of living is extremely difficult. Food is high. It is in other areas of the world. It is everywhere. The weather. UK weather, especially Scotland. I live in Scotland. Wait, what? It is cold. It is not as cold as Canada, but at least, you know, in Canada, you know, like in summer, you know, it is summer. In winter, you know, it is winter. And in Canada, I think the government are ready for whatever weather. But here, we are never ready for any weather. In winter, it can be snowing, it can be sunny, it can be cold, it can be gloomy. Especially in Scotland, it is darker. The weather is not it. You may have depression. If you're not on your vitamin D, you're going to be depressed. Okay, bureaucracy and immigration rules, which I've already talked about, it is up and down depending on who is ruling. Whatever government is reigning is going to affect you, affect your visa. So when you're moving to this country, please know the route you're coming in and make sure it is sustainable. Don't think everybody is going, I'll just go and I'll be fine. Should be they're surviving, I'll survive. No, you may not survive. I'm not discouraging you. I'm just telling you, immigration rules changes like cloths, changes like the UK weather. It's just the same thing like political climate, like the changes in politics. When this politician is in, they change this rule. When that rule is in, they change that rule. Social issues, you may have your neighbor and your neighbor will not talk to you. They do not care about you. It is you who is going to be the joy giver of yourself. You're not going to depend on your neighbor to help you. Look, I don't even know the name of my next door neighbor. Where I moved from, yes, we know each other. But here, I don't even know my next neighbor. I see them, but I don't know their faces because I don't look into their faces. They don't know me, I don't know them. You're going to be lonely. I am still lonely. Look, you're going to be lonely. Depression will catch you. You have to learn how to love yourself. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself. You have to learn how to adapt because you're going to be learning, unlearning. You're going to learn new things, new food, new culture, new way people speak. Scottish people, have you heard the way they speak? You're going to be here for 6 months and you're not going to understand. You think you understand English? Wait until you get to the UK. You get to the UK and you know that you do not understand freaking English because they're going to be speaking, you will not understand, so you just smile. I'm telling you from experience, I had to buy Scottish dictionary, Glasgow dictionary, Scottish dictionary before I could understand what they're saying after like a year. Most of the time when they speak to me, I just go, I did not understand. Cultural adjustment, adjusting to the culture, to the people, to the way they speak, the food, and so many other things. I'm just going to stop this video here because I don't want to bore you too much, but I hope you understand my point. Now, I hope this can help you to check if is it still worth coming to the UK or should I just move to another country? Or should I move to the UK and then from the UK use as a stepping stone to the next country? Because now that you're in the UK, it is easier to migrate to other countries. You know what I mean? Financially, mentally, accessibility-wise, you know, trust-wise, as long as you're out of that your original country that you want to be out of. Anyway, that is the end of my video. Please do me well by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this video to anybody that it may be helpful, that may find this helpful. I will really appreciate if you please share this video, comment, and interact. Let me know what you want to watch next. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you. You know I love you to the moon and back. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, and